everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Bro's Guide to Glitter. Today, we'll be discussing the $1.2 billion global blockbuster, The Barbie movie, directed by Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. We'll be talking about what we loved about the movie, its feminist message, and how this movie fits within the rest of the Barbieverse. Today, we have our biggest guest panel yet, so let me introduce them one by one. Starting with audio engineer and part-time editor of this podcast, John Reichmuth. He graduated from Loyola Marymount University, and it's been a long time in running having you on the podcast, but welcome finally.
Thank you. Glad to finally be on the business end of the cast.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Of course.
So the four of us actually recorded a podcast episode for your class last semester. And you know, the question on everyone's mind is, when will the secret tapes be released?
The hidden files, the director's cut, I suppose, of this podcast. I don't know. The thing, we kind of talked about this before we started recording. I don't really have the ambition of starting my own podcast, so I'm not really sure what to do with it.
I say if it's just a one-off thing, like, I think even if like someone were to like write one song or like write one book, it's always worth posting to have it out there. So I always say post. If you want, then yeah, heck yeah, dude.
Still waiting on Warner Brothers and UMG to get back to me on the offers I made to pitch it. But if I don't hear from them, then you're my next go-to.
And now we have recent UCLA graduate Milena Ortega. She graduated with a degree in world arts and cultures and got a minor in film and television.
Okay, you remembered.
Yes, indeed. And you currently work for the one and only Armand Hammer.
Yep, I sure do.
Have you seen any cool people at work recently?
I haven't, sadly. I also haven't been at work in the last few weeks because I was home, actually. But it's been weird because I feel like we've been having like a dry spell of celebrity sightings at the world famous Hammer Museum.
Interesting. Maybe they're all like, you know, at St. Bart's or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like they're all probably on vacation during this time. But Owen Wilson goes there a lot. I've seen him twice, which is cool.
Wow.
Wait, I don't know if you told me Owen Wilson.
Did I not tell you?
I don't think so. Does he?
Oh my God.
Does he have a wife and kids?
He takes his dates there, so I don't think he's married. Yeah. He takes them to dinner at the restaurant there. That's what I heard. These are all things I've heard at work. So
rumor has it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to trip in front of him at the Hammer Museum, like, tricking him into signing adoption papers.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Like, that MO almost seems like an Owen Wilson character move of like taking women to dates at the Army Hammer Museum.
That is
very on brand for him.
Yeah, I see his character in Midnight in Paris doing that.
Yeah, for sure. He's a lot taller than I thought he'd be. He's very tall. Mm-hmm. Really? He's very tall.
I feel like that's how movies are, though.
Yeah. No, they always trick you. I remember one time I was arriving to work and I was gonna walk through the parking lot as he was exiting, and I like froze because I think he could tell I knew who he was. And I just like made eye contact with him, and then I just walked the other way because I just didn't want to be a fangirl because I work there and it's weird.
Yeah, I get that. You're like, I cannot handle changing my facial expression at this moment. Let me just walk away.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely was awkward about it, but it is what it is.
And then finally, we have return guest D'Angelo Reyes. He's been officially living out here in LA for just over a year now, and he works in themed entertainment.
Yeah, baby. Well, glad to be back, babes. I love it.
That is your natural accent.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
And thank you for coming back. And in the 5 minutes this podcast has started, he's made his Zoom background Barbie land.
Yeah, you gotta
Beautiful.
represent. We basically just live in a worse, shittier version of Barbie Land in LA. But it's pretty great. I'm wearing a purple shirt and it looks pink with the background. That's it.
It does.
Color theory.
Color theory indeed. So we all saw Barbie together. And typically in this time at the top of the podcast episode, we'd play the word association game. But since there's 3 of y'all, I figured we'd start the episode off with a game of category die. And for listeners who don't know, category die is an improv game where the players are given a category and they have to say a new word in that category. And if they repeat something someone else said, we all yell, die!
Die.
And they're out. So, in the order of John, Milena, D'Angelo, you're all going to take turns saying words to describe the Barbie movie. Does that make
Love it.
sense?
Cool.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Go.
Pink.
C.
Stanley Kubrick.
Oh.
Okay, back to you, John.
Oh, gotcha. Dress.
Womanhood.
Ken.
Beach.
Alan.
Patriarchy.
Horses.
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Dreamhouse.
Alan.
Die. I said
Oh,
Alan.
Okay, now the final round down to Milena and D'Angelo.
Oh,
Take it away, Milena.
Still with Barbie?
Yes.
Dress. No, someone said dresses.
Die!
That was me. I let you win, D'Angelo. You're welcome.
I was gonna say Will Ferrell.
That's right. It's not that I forget Will Ferrell's in it, because it's just that he's not like an obvious main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money on the movie. He made like almost 10 million. But he just is, yes, Milena also puts the background of
I
Barbie
kind of like that
Land.
background better.
It's pink.
So we all saw the movie together. I think I speak for everyone here, when I say we all liked it, if not loved it. But I'd love to go around and hear your guys' favorite moments. My favorite moments overall were the comedic moments, especially with Ken and Will Ferrell. But I think my favorite takeaway from the movie was in America Ferrera's monologue. And even just in the beginning of the movie, when they talk about, oh yeah, Barbie did all these things so that other girls can be anything. And it actually really did resonate with me, the concept that, oh yeah, like I'm capable of anything. And oh my God, like not just women, but people are so capable of so many things, and people are so creative and emotional and compassionate and strong and smart and able-minded. And that is something that's been, a lot of women over the centuries have been told they can't be all those things. And so just being reminded about the complexity of humanhood really like made me feel good about myself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Good take.
Nice.
That was beautifully said. Yeah. Well, I wanted to say that I also really enjoyed America Ferrera's monologue. I think I've seen like different shows and films do a good attempt of like describing the experience of being a woman, especially when it's like you have to be a certain way, but you also can't be too much, but you also have to, it's just all these like imbalanced expectations that are placed on women in society. But I think I really value that it does continue to uplift women in the sense like, yeah, you can be whatever you want, you could do whatever you put your mind to, but you could also be ordinary and and you don't have to like continuously overachieve to prove yourself. You can also just be you and do what makes you happy. I did really think the end was beautiful. I really liked the montage of like home videos that Greta Gerwig used, because those were home videos of like women that were in the crew. And I think that's um a very special thing to honor all the people that worked hard on this film, especially given like the writer strike in Hollywood. I thought it was a really beautiful way to kind of demonstrate how we also all grew up with Barbie, or at least a lot of us grew up with dolls, at least, and a lot of us women and men or whoever. But I don't know. I really thought it was beautiful. It made me tear up. I think just also home video made me think of like the women that have been in my life, the ones in my family that have
Yeah.
been around, the ones that have passed away. Like it was super moving. And also like, sorry, I'm rambling, but the interaction with her, with Barbie and the creator of Barbie is like, she was like, can you make me human? And she would be like, I can't do that. That's up to you. And I thought that was really nice, because I think it shows how women don't need to seek validation in order to do things they want to do. They can do whatever they want. I don't know. I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah. The burden to overachieve is so real.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say
Exactly.
Can I say on that this movie does something very similar to the Legally Blonde musical and just Legally Blonde in general as a property, which I love, where it not just the main characters being blonde and in pink a lot, but it really highlights how strong a woman could be and also still be like stereotypically feminine. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
media nowadays that doesn't really play with that as well as this movie does. Um, Along with sort of the you can be whatever you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're just who you are, and that's a great it's a great message that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that way. It caught me off guard, like how positive the message was within Barbie, because like I really didn't grow up with the franchise. So I was going in and I was like, oh, this is going to be like a happy-go-lucky comedy. And especially like I watched it immediately after Oppenheimer. So I was begging for some fucking light in my life after that.
Yeah.
But seeing how like Barbie was sort of a role model-ish for like what women can be and what women can do, and the evolution of how Barbie evolved from just like ordinary Barbie, ordinary like wearing pink, blonde hair, skinny Barbie. I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that brings up a good point, which is, I mean, what with all of you guys, what was your connection to Barbie before the movie? Did you like John D'Angelo? Did you guys have any Barbies? I mean,
I never owned a Barbie. I have a vague memory of watching a Barbie movie. I think it was Princess and the Pauper.
But yeah.
heck yeah.
Because I did we watch that at some point?
Yeah, we did.
We watched
I think on one of our like PowerPoint nights, I think we watched Barbie Fairytopia Mermaidia.
I swear we also watched Princess and the Pauper. I think we were trying to do a few of them.
I've only seen Princess and the Pauper. At least that was the one I was there for.
I thought you watched Fairytopia.
You could not ask me what was in that.
Okay.
I don't know what happened in that one. But like some of the bat shittery from Princess and the Pauper, I was like, this I'm getting like vertigo or deja vu or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the CG of the time can appear a bit primitive, but still golden.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with Barbie at all. It was more of a side IP that I know what Barbie is. Everyone knows what Barbie is, but I never really played it. Closest thing I got was like, I guess action figures, but even then that's just like the boys thing,
The boys.
Oh boys.
Actually, no. The closest thing I got, I did have dolls. My like mom's coworker gave me a big collection of dolls that were themed to the Universal monsters. And
I had one of those.
yeah, it was like a Frankenstein, a Bride of Frankenstein, a Phantom of the Opera. There was like a lot of cool ones that I got, and I was all over that shit when I was like,
I was about to say that's your origin story.
I was all over the horror themed dolls when I was like 5, 6, 7, and I slowly lost them over the years, but they were really cool. But I honestly, the more I think about it, I played with them like Barbies. I'll be honest with you.
But that's good though, because it like, the sense of role play is how you grow up. And that's why in the movie they make a whole point about like, oh, before the dolls were baby dolls, so you could only role play as moms, but it's like, oh, now we can role play as astronaut, we can role play as president.
And you can make them kiss.
And you can braid their hair.
You can make them.
Okay, that's gonna be bleeped out.
Yeah.
It's explicit. You can say fuck, but you can't say.
But so we can say fuck, but we can't say.
Yes. And people will just be guessing, like, oh my God, D'Angelo must have said something really bad. No,
Come
he
on,
said
though, am I wrong?
household item.
Are you gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I was thinking it, but you're the one who said it.
Hey, thank you. I speak for everyone.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I had Barbies.
I know. I was about to say, Milena, you and I both
Yeah.
had them growing up.
I had, if anything, too many Barbies. I had so many Barbies. My favorite ones though were like the canonically Latina Barbies. like I had a Teresa. I had I had a Barbie of Penelope Cruz's character from Parts of the Caribbean on Stranger Times.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize they sold that.
Yeah, they had
Me neither.
her. Yeah, I loved all of like the brown-skinned Barbies. I loved them so much.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. I had way too many dolls, period. I had my Monster High phase like in 4th grade too. I loved Monster High.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
funny.
stayed loving Barbies.
My parents never let me play with Monster High or Bratz. They were like, Barbies are nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to play with. I had like one Bratz doll because I begged my mom, but like she didn't want me to have too many Bratz dolls because they were slutty, and I'm like, they're dolls.
They're children.
I know. That's what my parents said. They were like, they're called Bratz for a reason.
Oh my God.
Odd.
Yeah, so then we were talking about the Barbie movies, and a question I had. So here's the thing that I thought was interesting. My dad, after I took my dad to this movie, the second time I watched it, and my dad was like, wow, like, I hope playing with Barbies inspired you to want to be an astronaut or an engineer or, a politician, who knows?
Or an agent.
I know. Well, okay. We're getting there. Because he was like, oh, did it inspire you to do that? And I was like, no. And he was kind of disappointed and mad that I didn't say, yeah, I played with Barbies and wanted to be an astronaut. Because then my answer to that was, well, this was in the era with all of those movies. So most of the Barbies I played with and we bought at the time were like princesses. And I really wanted to be a princess. And my dad was like, he did not like that answer. But then I went in and I looked up like the list of like, what was Barbie's career of the year every year. And in 2004, her career of the year was film producer. And I had that doll and I played with her often.
Oh,
and I didn't even realize she was a film producer. So it just, to your point, John, it worked out.
Aww, that's so sweet. I actually remember I had a book that highlighted all of Barbie's careers, and it's like a and it had super old looking Barbies. Like I loved that book. I always looked through it. And there was like a page where she was like a doctor. And like in kindergarten, that made me think that I'm not a doctor, obviously, but when I was
Yeah.
in kindergarten, I wanted to be like a pediatrician for a while. And like that's what I saw in the Barbie book because I saw her as a doctor and I was like, that's so cool.
You're a
That's like a
doctor.
huge epiphany I'm having right now.
You have a Nobel
Interesting.
Peace Prize.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Barbie.
So we've got a film producer Barbie over here. We've got a doctor, pediatrician Barbie and Milena. We've got Dark Universe Monsters D'Angelo. John, what doll
Preminger
inspired?
for sure. He's Preminger.
I mean, I had Legos. I think that was the closest thing I had to dolls.
Yeah, I was a Lego boy.
I
Big
like
Lego
Legos
boy.
too.
Me too.
Yeah, watch the Lego movie. I love a Lego movie.
The it is funny because it's like the Lego movie and the Barbie movie both exist on the same plane of like it was announced and we're like, oh my god, a franchise thing. Are they gonna mess this up? This is obviously a money grab, but will it be dumb? And then it was really good.
And Will Ferrell's both
Yeah,
CEOs.
I was gonna say he was the antagonist of both.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw a tweet that was like, what if the Barbie, like Will Ferrell's last scene in the Barbie movie ended with, okay guys, I gotta rush home. I promised to go play Legos with my son.
I'd believe it.
That'd be crazy. That'd be
Or-
crazy. That would be a good post-credit scene.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Brand synergy.
Synergy.
You should get a soundboard. They need like an explosion.
Well, I mean, I put in my own special effects later,
Yeah.
but you know, I'll put in an explosion over you saying that.
Synergy.
Sublime!
Ooh, best line of the movie.
Best line.
Apparently that was improvised.
I bet. It sounded
believe
like
it.
it was improvised.
Okay, so I'll give you a few moments. What, in your guys' opinion, what was a joke? Either your favorite joke of the movie or a joke that stood out to you that you want to highlight.
I can name like 5, but please.
I
know.
I really liked at the beginning how Alan would react to anything Ken did. Like just the hi Ken or just like hi Barbie, and then like when Ken gets like knocked out by a wave, just that zoom into Alan like screaming. I
A
thought that
solid
was
Michael
really
Cera
funny.
scream.
Yeah, it was just so funny. That's the first one I can think of right now, but you guys go.
Yeah, I tried to, like, before watching the movie, I tried to explain the concept of Alan to my parents. I'm like, you know, he's played by Michael Cera. And they're like, we don't know who he is. I'm like, if you knew who he is, you'd understand why you need to pay attention to this character.
Mm.
I love the opening is a joke in itself in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled out the 2001: A Space Odyssey reference for the entire opening
Oh,
sequence.
yes. And you had mentioned Stanley Kubrick in category die.
That's why.
So to the people who hadn't seen the Barbie movie, which, okay, at this point, there's spoilers. Sorry, guys. I didn't mention that earlier.
Yeah, suck it up and watch the damn movie. It made $1 billion.
A $1 billion.
Get with the program.
Do your part, submit your 1650 or whatever, and make that 1.3 billion, please.
Come on, baby. Big money, big money.
But
Exactly.
to the people who aren't film aficionados, would you like to explain, D'Angelo, the reference at the beginning of the movie?
I will happily in the least film bro way possible. There was a little movie in the 60s. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah. You've seen 2001 more than I have. There's a little movie in the 60s called 2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick. And it's about space and the future in the crazy year 2001. And the opening sequence of that movie is a bunch of monkeys in the desert because it's like, you know, evolution. It's a bunch of monkeys and they get visited by this big black bar that's like an alien thing that allows man to progress And
The monolith.
thank you, the monolith. The monolith appears out of space and time, and it gives the monkeys free will and like human abilities, and they start like fighting each other, and the monkeys play with bones. And basically they did that in Barbie, but with little girls and Barbie being a doll, and they break their baby dolls. Great. Shot for shot.
That is pretty shot for shot. Thank you, D'Angelo.
Got you.
Fun film fact, apparently the giant Barbie that was the spoof on the monolith, that was a practical thing that they built.
Wait,
Wow.
really?
Yeah, so they like built this giant figurine.
He built a
Barbie.
lot of stuff for this
Yeah.
movie. Like, it's crazy to think about.
Its
The,
budget was double that
It
of
was
Oppenheimer.
It was like over like $1 million for
And
sure.
It was, I
Oh.
think, 1.5, and Oppenheimer, I think, was 75 million.
Yeah.
And that was shot on film and
Damn.
was twice as long and had like 5 times as many scenes.
Yeah.
Barbie and Oppenheimer neither used CG. And they made a whole point about that. And of course, with Oppenheimer, people were like, oh, like they let off an A-bomb. But it was more, I think it was more to say that like throughout the film, they did the 2001 thing of showing, you've seen Oppenheimer, right, D'Angelo?
Oh my god, yeah, I did Barbenheimer too.
Okay. They where in Oppenheimer basically there's shots where it's like you see like kind of strings of light and
Mhm.
sparks, and it's like the final sequence in 2001 A Space Odyssey. And I feel like that was the part that they were trying to be all like, oh, we don't use any CG for.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that neither uses CG looks so much better.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily like a CG hater per se. I mean, my job right now is literally like animation, where we like deal with CG, animation all day. But that's animation where it's different. But in live action movies, they both made like just these really beautiful, realistic looking sets.
Mhm.
And I just think that it's so high quality.
Yeah. I was just gonna say how I really appreciated how they did not use any CG, because I feel like in almost every like live action or action film, it's got some CG somewhere. And I
Yeah.
think we're also kind of like losing the charm of like homemade built sets, like especially during like those transitions of traveling to and from Barbie Land. Like, I love that. I love that so much.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
it's just,
and they had like such cute cardboard cutouts.
yeah,
That
it
was
looks
fun.
so good. And it's like, and it's more fun too for the actors, because they get to like actually be in these like worlds that were built for them, versus like having to act with like motion detecting like spots on their face, or like in a green screen room. It's like, it's a lot more fun. And it also, like, thinking about like it gave a lot of more people to be creative, like, and like more production designers got to be a part of such a cool project. And I love that
Yeah.
everything was like custom built, even that little car that they drove in, that was so cute too.
Yeah.
I ate it up. I love it.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I would say, I would say this movie has my favorite production design of the entire year so far. It
Agreed.
there's a beautiful, like what we've been saying, handmade, scenic aspect to it that really, at least for Barbie, it really shows up. It works with, the world being plastic, everyone's a toy, but you get that sense of scale and that sense of awe that comes from literal physical like sets on a soundstage. And it's super effective. And even the little details like the fridge with the flat printout of the food, the cartons, and the car rear view mirror is just like a printed graphic, like the actual toys are. It looks like everything was blown up to human proportions, or not. It's not even proportioned right to humans because they're toys. And the travel montage is still also my favorite. That behind the scenes video of all the pieces going by at different speeds for like perspective shifts are incredible. I think the production design hits a nerve with me specifically so hard because it's such an I forgot what interview it was, but there was a great Greta Gerwig interview where she talked about the production designer, and I forgot who it was. But the one of the big like design and just overall vibes, aesthetic inspirations for the entire movie are like the 40s, 50s golden age Hollywood musicals, and it
I
really
saw that
like
TikTok.
yeah, it really disregarding even like the production numbers that are in the movie, it um that inspiration really shows off in the production design and the staging and sort of how you move around. It's all it's pastels, it's singing in the rain, it's American in Paris. It's those like you stay on your wide shot and you get a million extras and it looks like candy and you want to eat it. And it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
love it.
all the real world scenes, was that shot like on location around LA?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it looked like it. Like I live in Venice, and when they popped up in Venice, I was like, yeah, that's what it looks like. Like it wasn't like cartoonishly shitty looking
No,
like
they did
some
not.
places make it. Like they just showed the city for what it is, and it's not. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they didn't romanticize it at all, which I thought was I mean, it's the point,
Yeah.
that's what it's like to walk around Venice also as a woman, like
Yeah, I actually did feel like that would have been an opportunity to try to make Venice look extra shitty. And I feel like they didn't. They're just like, oh, wide on Venice. And
That's what it looks like.
yeah.
And we were like, yeah.
Which is a very lovely city in a lot of parts. But after watching Barbie Land, you're like, yeah, this is different.
mhm. Also
I'll shit
the
on it all
Century
day.
City. Sorry?
Century
I'll
City.
shit on it all day. Venice.
Oh yeah.
Century City too. That play.
Century City cameo.
That was funny. Well, and I love Century City. I actually, LA rant right now. With Venice, I think the best parts about Venice are where people live. But the worst part about Venice is the beach, which is what they showed off. And with
I
Century
agree.
City, I feel like where people, kind of the reverse, where people live and all the office buildings are like obviously a bit didactic, but I love like the mall. And it still like gives really really chic. So the way they like showed Century City as the center of the patriarchy, I was on one hand I was like, no, but like I love Century City. Yeah, Ken's right, they have it all figured out. But like considering all of like the office buildings they have there, and I don't want to say that like it's very corporate over there.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say that like corporate equals patriarchy. That's not true. But I've seen and observed a lot of corporate experiences in which like it's exactly as it is, not exactly, but you see what you see in the movie, which is the dudes in the suits going, we're important, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm kind of like I appreciate that they did show that side of Century City just because, like, I mean, I only go to Century City for the mall, but
Mhm.
even in the mall, it's just full of like snooty people. And, um, but it is surrounded by so many like office buildings. And I don't know, I thought it made sense, because I feel like you can't have those like I mean, I thought it would have been interesting if they shot it in downtown LA where there's also a bunch of like office buildings, but I feel like
Yeah.
Century City is so much more corporate-y and like patriarchy, and like uh I really thought it was like so funny to show how simple-minded I don't want to shit on men, but how
Drag them.
simple-minded men can be and how
Drag
it's
them.
just
Land it.
Lander
dragging
them.
you guys, but
Men ain't shit.
um
We're
I think
bad.
it just like with Ryan Gosling's reaction to corporate America, you know. I thought how it was just so funny how in just an instant he was so influenced. It's like, yeah, this is how it should be. This is how,
He
the
bought
show
into the
must be run.
concept too quick.
Yeah, very quickly, just very simple. and easy, and even though without fully understanding what it meant to live in a patriarchy in this world.
Imagine if Ken dropped in a WeHo.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he
No,
would have been
that's so
so
right.
easily influenced too. He would have believed everything in an instant.
Well, and then WeHo is like known for being like the biggest gay population in America. It's a
Yeah.
lot more like chic and relaxed. He would have had an iced coffee.
Yeah.
You know.
He would have been like decked out in like sparkly, like very like flamboyant clothes. And he's like, this is what masculinity is. And I feel like that would have been a really interesting thing to see too.
I think that I think it's not far off from saying that corporatism is patriarchy. Like I don't think that's a far off statement.
Nope.
I would say it's a correct one.
It
Honestly.
is a very correct statement.
Yeah, because who made it? Who made corporate?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think that like as much as we have very talented female corporate leaders all over, and you know, I worked for a corporation earlier this year. I'll probably work for more corporations again in my life. But as both parents have to work, it's like who takes care of the kids? And of course, both parents can take care of the kids, and you know, but it's just you see more women like making those career sacrifices and climbing up the corporate ladder and giving your whole time to a company doesn't really align with living a life, honestly.
Yeah.
Can I say a
Yeah.
favorite joke that relates to this?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, we had 2 women CEOs. One was in the 90s and the other was whenever. We love women here.
That
All
was
my
funny.
friends are women. I am the mother of an aunt.
Oh.
I'm the child of a mother.
I'm the son of
a mother.
of an aunt or something.
I'm the nephew of a female aunt. All my I have friends that are Jewish.
So stupid.
I did like that part.
Silly
That's
Will
funny.
Ferrell line. I like that's silly.
He's so mean.
I am call me mother.
And they're like, nope.
Mm-mm.
I did appreciate the way that she was like, okay, so like, nice to meet you all, but can I talk to the CEO? No, I meant the
that
president.
was a funny line.
Yeah, that was a good one. She was like, she got them.
Oh my god. I'm a man without power. Does that make me a woman?
Oh my god. I
Oh.
thought that was so funny because there really do be guys out there like that.
Yeah, there really do be guys. Yeah.
All right, John, what was your favorite joke?
Favorite joke. Going off that, I just loved Will Ferrell and his like cast of cronies.
Yeah.
Like all the funny gags, like them in the board meeting with I keep blanking on his name from Sex Ed.
Oh, I didn't
That
know the
guy.
names of any of those guys.
He was good. The rollerblading scene when they're trying to make it to Barbie Land's fun.
That one was funny.
Yum.
Favorite joke though, God, for now I'll phone one in and I'll say the gynecologist bit at the end. Like, I thought that was a funny button.
Yeah.
It was
Especially
cute.
after the like emotional ending, it circled it back.
Yeah,
I
and
was like,
also
okay, it's a comedy.
it made you think that she was going to apply for a corporate job too.
That's
It
what
was
I
funny.
thought.
I like that. I like that. It was like, is she going in for her job interview? Or
Nope, she's
Nope.
gonna become a real woman.
she is. She is.
It also
Well, that-
answers the joke from earlier where she like goes up to those guys and she's like, I don't have a vagina. And he
Yeah.
doesn't have a penis. We don't have any genitals.
It was
I have
so
all the
funny.
genitals.
And the guys are like, that's okay. Ew.
Construction site. Let's get that feminine energy.
Ew. Gross.
Yeah, the comedy in this movie was like insanely fast, yet very, very methodical, which I haven't seen in a movie in a while. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't laughed that hard at a movie like so frequently.
No, for real. I loved how ridiculous it was. See, women can be funny. Like women are funny. Be mad.
Yeah. What were your speaking of be mad? There are a lot of people out there mad about this movie. I
See the 43-minute Ben Shapiro review of this.
No, what? Okay, I need to watch that.
Oh my
I didn't
god.
watch it. I've seen people react to it, but he's like, "This movie is anti." You know, it's all the shit that those guys say in his silly. Like he like gets mad at there's a trans woman who plays one of the Barbies. She's the Barbie with the glasses bit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
What was her name? Har Neff. And he's all like, yeah, this Barbie was trans and she had a deeper voice than mine. And I'm like, everyone has a deeper voice than you,
Yeah.
Ben.
Literally.
I'm really glad we saw it opening night so that then like we could see all of the backlash that it got with the context of the movie. Because like I walked out of it fucking loving it and seeing all these people like it wasn't made for me. What?
Yeah.
Everything's made for me.
What about me?
This movie is feminist
there's so much
terrorism.
men
This
shit.
movie's trying to destroy
Yeah,
our
it
country.
literally it goes to the point. I don't know if you've seen, I forgot what website it was on, but it was talking about like the power of content made for female audiences and how the Barbie movie, the Taylor Swift Eras tour, and the Beyonce Renaissance tour are taking in so much money right now and are, you know, centerpieces on social media and in the news. And there's just so much like for years that already have been like things that are like for men. It's expected to be like for all audiences. And even stuff that it's like, okay, well, like Oppenheimer is like, that's not a movie that has to be like for men. It's historical.
Yeah.
Like it's for everyone to love, but like it's a male protagonist. And so it's like whatever, but still it's like gender, it's for all genders. But then when you multiply that by 10 and you have only movies with male protagonists, it really doesn't feel like much is for women.
Yeah, there's so much bad like criticism of this movie from like just clueless guys. It's like pick up a book, like touch some grass, dude. like first of all, it's a movie, and like there are so many other pressing things in your life to either get mad about or pay attention to, and it's like there's so much more made for you. Like, come on.
Yeah, like I don't know why they would expect this film to be like for all audience. It's specifically Barbie, like, and not to like impose gender norms, but like it is a feminist film. It's Greta Gerwig. Like like I don't know what more you expect, and especially if you're living in a world where like the system doesn't affect you, then you're not going to understand it. Like to put it simply like that.
I agree, but I also actually saw an argument. I've seen a lot of arguments for how this movie is very pro-man and
Absolutely.
being anti-patriarchy. I think one guy, I found a guy on TikTok who put it very succinctly about this idea that like, going back to Milena, your idea of like, oh, the burden to overachieve, which I feel like is especially true for us having grown up in the Bay Area. And being part of Gen Z, but like this idea that men are defined by what they do and their wealth and the women they date. And so then they don't think, hey, what's my value as a person? Like the value in my own inner creativity and compassion and my self-worth for just existing. And so then it pushes these guys to compete with each other based off of this idea of who has the best Mojo Dojo Casa house and who has the abs and whatever. And then it's what forces people to rely upon these, you know, systems like, oh, patriarchy, I'm great because I'm a man, just to give them that sense of feeling of belonging and self-worth, because they can't compete in the whole I can lift more than you and I'm a millionaire world.
No, I think that's an important thing to notice, because I did see how it was also talking about how also men like seek that same sense of belonging. I thought it was super interesting because funny enough, Brittany Broski was talking about how the men in Barbie it also reminded me, but she said it reminded her of all the little boys she used to be friends with, and
I
how
have to
all
say
the
that.
little boys are also looking for their place in the world, and a lot of them get lost in the idea of patriarchy and toxic masculinity. And I think it's sad to think about, because I also like I saw girls on TikTok also talking about how like a lot of like girls had to stop being friends with their guy friends because, well, like growing up, I should say, they had to stop being
Yeah.
friends with their guy friends because, they would like, I don't know if you've had this experience, Sarah, but I've had experiences where I've had guy friends where I'll be friends with them, like, yeah, this is so great, this is my guy friend, and then they'll be like, I have to tell you something, like, I have feelings for you, or just something like that, and I'm like, ooh, is that why you're friends with me? Because you want something from me, like it's things like that where I think it correlates with how the men in Barbie were kind of like, I think they're seeking a purpose in everything they do.
Yeah. Part of that getting lost in patriarchy leads to the objectification of women.
Yeah, and having a woman around his arm, like things like that.
Yeah, like it kind of goes back to what you said about him ending up in Century City and discovering that part of the patriarchy.
Hmm.
Like he saw what men could achieve and was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want this. I want all this fame. I want all this glamour. I want to basically be a Barbie of his
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. A boy Barbie.
A boy Barbie. A boy Bee."
He's just
These are for
10.
boys.
Sorry.
Not to mention, like, the outcast man was like the pasty, scrawny guy that
Hmm.
was sort of kind of without a purpose. Alan.
Yeah, he never finds purpose in the film. That's like his.
I actually feel like though he is like representative of I think he's representative one of the idea that men definitely suffer under the patriarchy, and that's about showing that. But I feel like he makes his whole purpose in being compassionate
That's
and
true.
being
Yeah.
proud of himself and just not taking the Ken's shits and being like, no, I'm not gonna rub their feet anymore. And oh, you guys want to help set up a better government? Yeah, I'm going to do that and help you. Regardless of, maybe I would be better off if men ruled the world, even if they were all Kens and not like me.
He's for the girls.
Alan is great.
Do
Love
you
Alan.
think there's a lot of people out there on TikTok saying like, oh, well, I want an Alan. I don't want a Ken, I want an Alan. Oh, my boyfriend's an Alan. But do you guys,
Girl.
do you think that there are any pure Allens who exist without some Ken in them?
I don't.
We all got that Ken in us.
We
All got Ken. Like,
got that
Alan-
dog in us.
Yeah, Alan. Well, Alan's very. I take it. I see Alan from a queer man angle,
Mm.
because it's very much the, oh, I don't vibe with the hyper masculinity of like the Kens, but then I'm not a Barbie, so what do I do? There's a very that I think a lot of queer people resonate with his character, in that sort of like weird in between where it's like, I'm hanging with the girlies, but I'm not going to go to the bathroom with them.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do now? I'm just kind of here. But I think a lot of gentlemen are, unfortunately very much what's the word? Programmed into sort of what patriarchy can offer them and what they can do and what they're promised. And actually, there was a point I wanted to make earlier that I think the movie does a fascinating job at portraying. I love how it portrays how matriarchy under Barbie Land is just like the Barbies like chilling, having a great time. And, like, they don't really pay attention to the Kens because they're just kind of there.
No.
And they
Yeah.
have fun and everyone's nice to each other. And that's sort of like, and because we've never experienced a matriarchy, like as real people, that's sort of like the cool like difference that it has,
Mhm.
where it's less about power and it's more of like women can make their choices and have like an impact. Whereas patriarchy in a normal world sense, this is kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, is like about men having power over others, maybe
Yeah.
specifically women in this case, where they have to do things for them. Whereas again, the opposite, where it's the Barbies just want to hang out and the Kens are there. They don't really need them to, survive or be dominated over.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting because there's a lot of cultures that have, for many centuries and up till recent centuries, have been matriarchal. The Jewish community, I don't know like how matriarchal is in terms of like within the household, but whether or not you are Jewish is your mother Jewish and is your mother's mother Jewish? And in that exact same way in Native American culture, whether or not you were Native American and what family and tribe you belong to was about your mother's side. And so there is a history of matriarchies and very collaborative matriarchies, but through globalization, it's not something that we have like everyday example for.
And then like our generations in
now.
lifetime, especially.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting though. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Midge.
Well, we all have midge in us,
Yeah.
I feel
We all
like
got a
I'm
midge.
Midge. I feel like if I'm any, and this brings me to another question, which is like, which of these Barbies Kens are you? I really think I'm a Midge. I mean, I like to say I'm a Barbie, but I was really struggling over who I am. But it's like, I've got the strawberry blonde hair. In Barbie life in the dream house, she's super like, kind of she's a dork and she's vintage. And when
If she's
people
pregnant.
see me, I'm not pregnant at all. Thankfully, sign of the cross, knock on wood. But when she's there and Will Ferrell steps out of the little house and he's like, well, and then sees Midge and goes, ah, Midge. I feel like that's people's reaction when they see me.
No.
Oh,
No.
They recoil in abject horror. No way, Sarah.
No.
You hopped on this Zoom call today and you went, huh, logged off.
No. Don't say that about yourself.
Thank you. But so what about you guys? Which Kens and Barbies or characters would you be?
God, I don't know if I could say I know I'm a Barbie, I just don't know which Barbie I am. I think because there's just so many. And I don't want to say like I'm Barbie because I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Come back to me.
Yeah, I know, right? It's hard to be, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to say like I'm like, because physicist Barbie, I don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm entertainment industry Barbie. Like, no, there's more to me, but like, I'm not likes to go on walks every day Barbie. And then
You're
that's
your own Barbie.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
I'm
think
gonna
that's
do
the
the
whole point of
BuzzFeed quiz.
stereotypical.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
the BuzzFeed quiz.
I'm gonna do the BuzzFeed quiz of which Barbie I am, so come back to me.
I do gotta look this up. And I think that's the whole point of stereotypical Barbie is she's like, oh, I'm not just any Barbie. I'm not a specific Barbie because there's so much more to me.
Exactly.
realest Barbie of them all.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more down the Alan path because, like we said, I have less of that like hunger quest for money and power that like is kind of poked fun at with all the Kens. I'd say like a mix of Alan plus Weird Barbie. Kate McKinnon killed it.
I love Weird Barbie for you. She
Mhm.
did kill it.
Yeah,
Give
she
me
slayed.
the fun clothes. Give me the goofy hair.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on Alan again. Very much get the vibes of Alan. Also, I love oh god, which one is she? I can't remember the actresses. I don't know which Barbie they go to, but yeah, don't remember. I'll stick with Alan. I mean, I got some Ken moments because I do have my like Ken guy friends, and they're great. So I can like cosplay as a Ken, but yeah, girl, I'm a Barbie. I'm an Alan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we all got our Ken in us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like I have a lot more Ken in me. I definitely mansplained Godfather many times. I always
Oh God.
You.
Oh no.
Can I please point out how Issa Rae, President Barbie, says Godfather? She goes, "Are you watching The Godfather?"
It's giving oh hello on Broadway.
Yeah, the way she says that is so funny.
That's so funny.
the Godfather.
Well, I got my quiz results and I got Gloria, which I think fits me fine. I'm
Which
definitely
oh, is that
That's-
America Ferrera's character?
yeah, which is weird. I don't know why they never said her name in the movie. I didn't know her name was Gloria
her name
until
is
after the
Gloria.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they said it like once or twice.
It's her
I
daughter
don't
Sasha,
remember.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Bratz. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. The kids
Yeah.
at the table, right?
No, I'm silly Barbie.
Billy Barbie.
I love what is it? The actress who looks like Margot Robbie. What's her? Do you know her name?
I'm a Mackie.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
She's physicist Barbie.
I want to be
I
physicist
liked
Barbie.
her too.
I don't want to wear this.
You know what I thought was so
Mhm.
interesting is that yeah, when she's like, I don't want to wear this.
I want pants.
I thought it was so interesting how okay, so a lot of the biggest criticism of the movie, and this is why they're banning it in all of those Middle Eastern countries, is they're saying it's turning you gay. It wants you to be gay.
Yep.
I have no clue where that came from. There is never do they say the word gay in the movie. Never do they show two men kissing. There's that one scene where Ryan Gosling's like skating and two guys see him and are like, oh, I like that. And so you assume that like they're two gay guys hitting on him.
Yeah, they weren't gay.
But
How could
other
you
than
tell?
yeah, but other than that, it's like I don't know where that comes from. And so I really thought about it. But at the end of the movie, you know, it's like, oh, like Ryan Gosling wants to be Margot Robbie's boyfriend. But when the Kens kind of convert back to being nice again, I forget the actor's name, but the Ken who was Emma Mackey's Ken, he was like, I just want my best friend Barbie back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that opens a world in which some of the Kens are gay and their respective Barbie is just their best friend.
The sex education cast, though, that's like in
I
this
love
movie.
them. I
Great show.
love them.
What is his
Yeah.
name? Nakuti. I don't remember his last name.
Yeah.
He's Doctor
great.
Who.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
That was the newest one.
No, but I think it's so stupid. I think people are just so afraid of femininity that they think it's gonna turn them gay. Like that's what it is
Yeah.
when I think if people are afraid of things turning you gay, that's an internal problem that you need to face with yourself.
Yeah.
Because nothing in this movie implies homosexuality at all. Like I think maybe like whatever Alan had going for Ken, but even that he was saying at the end, like you said, how he doesn't like what the Kens were up to with patriarchy in Barbie Land. Like I think it's just like I think conservatives in general are definitely afraid of their own femininity because everyone has a masculine and a feminine side, and obviously men try to only have a masculine side and absolute no feminine, and if it is feminine it makes you gay, which is also incredibly misogynistic in itself too, to be afraid of femininity. Like just say you hate women. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's its own thing. Like if you're afraid of this turning you gay, then that's on you. Like
Go kiss a boy.
Then go kiss a boy then. Also, then why do you go fucking see it?
yeah, why do
Yeah.
you see it if you're
Don't
afraid
see
it's
it.
gonna turn you gay?
Like, hey, big Tex, why do you throw on your pink tank and walk into the Barbie movie? Like, what did you expect?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's just
true.
a lot of redirection and like pointless blabber that really doesn't mean anything. Like Chronic Online, it's being chronically online.
Yeah, for sure.
And also just hating women. Like
Yeah, exactly.
So we talked about the score in between. And specific, I mean, there's so much on this score. You've got songs from Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, Lizzo.
Hashtag canceled.
Yeah, hashtag canceled.
Hashtag
Love her
canceled.
songs though.
Yeah, great musician, but what's happening in your legal camp? But what were all y'all's favorite songs?
Gotta go with Push by Matchbox 20. So fucking funny.
Easy
Also-
chords.
Easy chords. And first, I'm sure they tried to get the rights to use Wonderwall and just
yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah.
But also, like, I never really paid attention to the song. And I was like, huh, that's a pretty damn good, like, Ken Takeover song.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize it was written before because it's so, I wanna push you around. Yeah, I will. And then I wanna take you for granted. Like I thought it was like made up because those lyrics are like so awful,
That's
It's
crazy.
Oh,
but it's real.
I'm a sucker for Dancing Night Away by Dua Lipa. For this song is like I think my most repeated song of this month, of the last like 2 months. Also because of the dance sequence that it
That was
accompanies
a good
is
dance
incredible.
sequence.
It's one of the catchiest like
Mhm.
I don't know, could you call it a disco song? I don't know. It's like a really catchy song.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
I love the Pink Panthers one, Angel. I really love that one. And I really love the Tame Impala one that they use in the
Yeah.
travel sequence. I'm a sucker for Tame
Interesting.
Impala. What can I say?
The real world.
We were talking
Yeah.
about this while we weren't recording, but I gotta say it because it is my favorite. What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah. When did it end?
That's a
Turn
gorgeous
that shit
song.
off.
Turn it off. Gorgeous song though.
It's
Great
pretty.
accompaniment to the ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way they mixed it at the end, I was like,
I think I caught it on my like second or third viewing. They play the instrumental when she first meets Ruth.
yeah,
Handler in, like,
they
the
play it
office,
in the instrumental.
in like her little radio, and I'm like, that's the
Ah.
I thought that scene was so beautiful too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to shout out again the second version of Lizzo's Pink song, the Pink Bad Day version. I love that version where she's like, panic, I'm scared, nauseous, death. That one's funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that one.
good development, musical development,
Exactly.
transforming a
theater.
leitmotif.
Now,
Agree.
John, speaking of your musical background, I have to call you out now now, do you play guitar? You play banjo,
Yeah,
but
a
have you
little
ever
guitar.
played guitar at a Megan?
No.
He's clear.
For anyone.
I don't want to talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
I'm not proud of
That's
it.
fine.
Not proud of it, but I've brought the guitar out to parties.
Okay.
You can
Spoiler
play
alert.
for me, John.
Spoiler, doesn't get you bitches.
Just so everyone knows, do not play guitar.
Everyone's like, oh, this douche brought a fucking guitar.
He knows 5 chords. Good for him.
I wanna miss you around.
Well, I will.
John,
Well, I will.
I'll listen to you play a song for me for 4 hours.
Oh,
And that's why you have that Ken in you. That's why you got that Ken in you.
that's why I got it.
Oh yeah.
Boys support boys.
Hell yeah.
Love me, my boys.
Oh, brother.
Oh brother, this guy stinks.
Boo.
Well, I think it's time for Convince Chad. Now, Chad, I think it's helpful because we've got some real Chads in real life, and we already talked about the haters, the Ben Shapiros in the world, the government's literally banning this movie. I mean, I don't feel like I need to say what the arguments are. And we talked about how it's messed up, but if you were sitting across from Ben Shapiro, or you were in the Kuwait Senate House floor, I don't know if they have one of those. I'm not sure about their form of government, but if you were talking to some Kuwait politicians or Ben Shapiro, and you had to convince those Chads, no, Barbie is more than you think it is, how would you do that?
All right, Benny boy, what'd you think of the movie? I thought it was great. How about you? No. Why didn't you like it? What do you mean anti-men? Like, the men dominated for part of it, and we got to see like the flaws of a patriarchal system that reflect what we're actually living in. And granted, like, would a matriarchy look like Barbie Land? I don't know. But does that mean that we can't does that mean we can't not give women a chance? Does that mean you have to like shoot down something that, like, I don't know, empowers a woman to maybe want to be a physicist or want to be something more than your fucking bored wife? You're also dressed like Ken for this movie.
Yeah, the photo's ridiculous.
Wait, is he dressed like Ken in the review?
Yeah, he looks like a
Like,
Ken.
he showed up to the movie wearing like
the outfit, I think,
Yeah.
like the
Like the
track
black-
outfit.
The grease lightning, almost like black, all black look.
Yeah, like,
Oh my god.
also
Oh,
going back to
yeah.
the jokes, that was a really funny fucking bit, like the Ken dance
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Ken song.
Oh yeah.
What an incredible number.
I think it's so funny because it shows how like patriarchy is like its own problem that they fight about in amongst themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's literally the essence of why there's war. You know?
Yeah, they were like, that one guy was like, oh, so what, we fight the Barbies? No, we fight each other.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
What
Like, they were-
happened?
They were literally so busy fighting that they forgot to go vote to actually like
They forgot to
maintain
So funny.
power.
Also,
Yeah,
Ryan
I forgot.
Gosling is a star.
Yeah.
I did like it when
Yeah.
it's like when Kingsley Ben-Adir was like, wasn't the vote today? And he's like smiling and his face quickly is like, what?
What?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I do feel like that number was the scene stealer. Definitely. I mean, I feel like a scene stealer in the whole movie. And a lot of people talked about it after the movie more than the female parts of it, which some people were like, hey, wait a minute, how come like people are obsessed with the man song in this feminist movie? But I feel like that's just because it was like kind of the last big funny part of the movie and
Yeah.
like during the climax. So I think it's a pacing thing.
Yeah, and also the men get a lot of the comedic bits. Like a lot of the most of the comedic bits come from shit they do, which is, it's funny. And you're also like, oh, huh, interesting.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like, if you didn't laugh at the movie, you're really, really sensitive and kind of immature as the man.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna let the Barbie movie, which is a good movie, like, right, like tear down your masculine? What?
Yeah.
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 So on John's convinced Chad. I really like that convinced Chad. I like how you talk to Ben Shapiro one-on-one.
I gotta reach into my inner Ken and give it to his inner Barbie.
So Barbie
That's
coded.
beautiful.
He has
That's
an inner
beautiful.
Barbie. He just doesn't realize it.
I think he's mostly inner Barbie. He's a Ken poser.
Yeah. I mean, have you listened to him sing Stars from Les Mis? He has an inner Barbie.
I was about to say that. He's such a musical theater girly, and like,
Yeah.
and his sister is like a violinist, and she also does like conservative commentary, and it's like,
Bruh.
girl.
All right, Milena,
Well,
convinced Chad.
I convinced Ben Shapiro, so it's up to you to talk to the Qatari government.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If I had the chance to speak with these powerful men that don't believe in women's rights, I would have them picture if they do or want to have children, if they have a daughter, I'd picture to think about their daughter. And obviously, like, I feel like that's what you have to do, really, to picture, like, to talk to men that are so consumed in their own masculinity. I think you have to, like, sit down, think about the women in your life, and think about everything they've endured. And because you love the women in your life, don't you want them to feel like they could do anything they put their minds to? And obviously, like, the role, I don't know, I feel like, because I feel like I just end up in an argument, you know, because I feel like they're gonna talk about how, well, like, women have roles that they need to follow, but those were roles that you created based on what you thought was correct. And I mean, I don't know how if you can look at the current state of the world, but everything wrong with the world, I think I can confidently say is because of patriarchy. And you can say that there are good things about patriarchy. And yeah, there's things about patriarchy that work, but for the majority of the time, it creates inequality. And if you look at Barbie Land, as you mentioned before, Sarah, how I don't know if you mentioned it too, John, but they just kind of hang out in Barbie Land. There's nothing really wrong in Barbie Land. All the girls have the jobs that they want, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy like President Barbie or Physicist Barbie. Like, there's construction worker Barbie. There's like lifeguard Barbie, you know? It doesn't have to be a crazy job, but it's women can do anything, you know? I mean, people can argue that women don't want to be construction workers, but there are women construction workers out there, you know, that want to do these jobs. There's no like biological factor to what you want to do with your life. And I think women should have that same free will as men do, and that sort of privilege.
Very convincing.
Let her cook.
Let me cook. Let me cook.
She's cooking.
How about you, D'Angelo? We've gotten the Qatari government. We've gotten Ben Shapiro. Who's left of the Chads to tear apart?
All right, listen up, fuckers. Here's the deal. I'm getting every single woman on Earth. I'm standing behind them. They're coming to attack you, and you're not gonna win. You better fucking give up, because you ain't shit. You ain't shit, and your opinion doesn't matter.
It seems a little personal.
Because you ain't offering anything with your BS. So why don't you leave this to the women? Because they know what they're doing. And also, like, it's about a fucking toy. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Stick to watching a bad movie if you don't want to watch it, dog.
Why? I want to add, your ticket added to the box office success that this film was. Sorry.
If you're so mad at it, then don't go see it. It's going to be perfectly fine without you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't like to hear the opinions of silly, stupid little people. So
yeah.
Bye.
It's like what Cardi B says when she says, I love my haters because they buy my albums and listen to me on Spotify and make me rich.
They should just watch it.
Yeah, it's
Cats
not
should
like
just go and watch it.
Greta Gerwig's not getting money from people going and hate watching it.
Yeah, exactly. She's still gonna thrive. It doesn't matter if you like it or not.
Thriving director. What an incredible director. 3 for 3, Greta Gerwig.
Period.
3 for 3. What's Little Women?
Little
Lady
Women
Bird.
and Lady Bird.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Lady Bird.
3 hits. I haven't seen Little Women though, so I need to see that.
I haven't seen
Lady
either of
Bird
those
is really-
films. I'm a fake film minor.
Fake Greta Gerwig fan.
I never said I was a fan, but I support her work.
Lady Bird's great. I love Lady Bird. It's a love
need to
letter to
watch
Sacramento and dysfunctional mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah, I think her films are going to destroy me, so I'm going to hold off until I'm in a better state of mind.
Especially as we're all Catholics here, and I think we've all spent a little bit of time in Catholic school, and that's its own damning criticism in Lady Bird.
So who's ready to see
Yeah.
The Exorcist Believer?
You
Oh my
you have
God.
fun. You have fun.
Come on. So again, maybe this won't convince you guys to go to Horror Nights with me. There is an Exorcist Believer maze this year.
Oh yeah,
No.
I mean, I'm gonna go maybe in like 1 or 2 mazes. I'm scared.
You don't have to keep your eyes open.
I might piss my pants like a little girl,
Like a little piss boy.
like a little piss boy.
Well, I'm here to uplift the piss girls of the world because they offer so much and they are so much.
Speak,
Shut the
D'Angelo. You
fuck
go piss, girl.
Go
Oh
piss, girl.
God.
Go piss all over
Turn
the
it
stupid
off.
chads who don't like Barbie. Because you know what? It's not for you. And even if you think it's not for you, you're also like part of the fucking movie. So calm down.
Yeah,
like, come on.
you're
Like,
part
you're
of
the
the
Kens.
problem.
Get over it.
You're mad because you're not as cool as the Kens, and even the
Go-
Kens weren't that bad.
Go to the Trinity testing site and get blown up by Oppenheimer's little bomb.
Not the
Right.
Trinity testing site.
Like, not a great
in Los
reference. but,
Alamos.
Like, go to Los Alamos.
I think
And go-
that's the most creative way of saying go fuck yourself. Hey, go to the Trinity testing site.
Go tinker with your little uranium and your plutonium and
Go feel the immense guilt that you'll feel after creating a weapon of mass genocide. And even though you chose to do that.
or I have become Barbie, destroyer of Barbie worlds.
Fuck up.
We gotta do we have to do a companion podcast piece to Oppenheimer. Because
I
we've
have
all
a
seen it.
feeling like that, especially because oh my god, I have so much to say on it.
I have a lot to say
I
about
want to
Oppenheimer,
mention the
too.
real quick scene in Oppenheimer where Oppenheimer presents the atomic bomb idea to his friend Bernard from the Santa Claus.
Yeah. Oh my god.
When he goes and presents it to Bernard, and he's like, "We can build this," and Bernard's like, "No, dude, this is a weapon of mass genocide." And Oppenheimer's like, "Please," and Bernard's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
It's just like that easy.
Yeah, he was literally like, I'm not gonna do this with you. And then he's in every other scene building it with him. Like, what?
Oppenheimer's like, "Pretty please,
Please. More funding. Matt Damon.
please,
You know what's funny? When I rewatched Barbie and they first leave in the car out of Barbie Land, the desert, like the wide shot of the desert, instantly made me think of Oppenheimer. I was
Yes.
I thought that when we
Yeah.
watched it, and I was like, I want that movie out of my head. I want Barbie now.
like, get out of my head.
Get out of my head.
Build
Maybe
the
convince
town,
Chad,
build it
Sarah.
fast.
You definitely convinced Chad. You know, we've got everything. We've got John sidling up and being like, talking as a friend, being like, hey pal. And then we've got Milena coming in and being like, okay, but think about your daughters, and going for like the deep pathos.
Very Libra of
when
me.
that doesn't work, we've got when that doesn't work, we've got D'Angelo and his sleigh army.
Chaos.
Just
Women are everything. Women are
Chaos
chaos.
match.
Women are peace.
Chaos Magic Wanda.
Wanda would be a great Barbie. Just
Wanda
saying.
would be a great Barbie. She would
Like, women are
slay.
fucking everything, dog. Like, we wouldn't be here without women.
Actually,
Where would we be?
after the
Literally.
Barbie movie, I did feel like, man, men must feel really bad that they can't be women.
Why do you think why do you
Kinda.
think we're so fucked up? Like
Yeah.
we don't really have purposes.
Damn.
Yeah.
But you do. You all do. And that is the lesson of the Barbie movie.
We
That we
are
all have
Kenough.
purpose.
We are Kenough.
We
Yeah, you could say that. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
The joke.
Every day is girls' night. Every
Exactly.
night is girls' night.
Every day is for the girls. Right? Right, boys?
Right.
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 Well, on that note, I hope that all the listeners at home, I hope they have a very special girls' night tonight. And until next time, you are Kenough. And thank you for being here, John and D'Angelo and Milena.
Thank you for
You are
having us.
so welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on. Bye-bye.